Hello and welcome to Remember Me.
The stories of our babies. I am Eli's mum, Chelsea Tookie.
And I'm Mila's mum, Helena Moraes. In this podcast, we'll be talking all about the stories and memories of our babies while they were alive, from womb to world.
Here we will ask you the questions that no one ever asks you after your baby dies. Let's humanise their existence and give dignity to their passing whilst breaking the taboo of baby loss.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Remember Me, the stories of our babies. Today is the first day that we're all together with our new member, Wunmi. Do you want to give yourself a little intro? Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Wunmi. It's really, really hard introducing yourself. Yeah, I'm Kayode's mum. Yeah, this is my first time on here. It's really, really nerve-wracking. I don't know what to say, but yeah, I mean, hopefully you're gonna hear and see more of me. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're really excited. And the last episode that dropped was actually your episode. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have already listened to it and stuff and got to know a bit of you and Cody as well. But yeah, and then we've got the beautiful Chelsea as well in the house.
Hey, hey, hey. Back again.
Yes, back at it. So today we were just going to talk about, a little bit about ourselves, where we are, our headspace, and the realness of what it is with our individual lives. Like, yes, we all have a shared experience of losing our babies, but each one of us are at a different part of our journeys, and those little things mean that our experience is so different. And it's so important that we hear everyone's experience of loss because as we find, like, first of all, speaking about baby loss is taboo as it is anyway. But then a lot of the times there's like a taboo within a taboo. Like, you can't, if people struggle and continue to have like fertility difficulties, it's almost like they just go into an abyss where no one really wants to hear those stories. And it's just always about hope. And the only hope at the end of the tunnel is that if you have a living baby, and anything outside of that is almost like it doesn't happen because yeah, I just feel like people are not allowed to speak about it, which is annoying. But yeah, that is what we're going to be speaking about today, and also maybe other stuff. That is kind of how is everyone feeling? I think is probably the best way to start. Like, where are we today? Or
Uh, Gosh, how are you feeling? That question is always like so like loaded
Heavy.
with
Isn't it such a big
yeah.
question?
It's like you never even know how to to answer it. I always have like two like versions of myself, and I'm like, depending on the person, I normally just say, "Yeah, I'm fine, plodding
Yeah,
along, same old." But
same.
because we're in, space we're in, I'm gonna be honest. I have been, yeah, not great at all. The last week and a half, my mood has I've just really, really struggled to be motivated. I've got half a marathon on the 10th of August, and I've just not been been consistent with my training for like a week and a bit now. Because I think I'm just a bit anxious about going back to work. So I'm finally returning to work on Wednesday, tomorrow. But I'm just so nervous and really, really sad because I think going back to work when you're coming off maternity, I think just for anyone, it's just really, really hard. I know, a lot of women can relate going back to work after maternity. It's really, really difficult. But I think going back when you've had baby loss, followed by then a miscarriage, and it's yeah, it's just really, really difficult just because I feel like, I'm not going to come back home till I obey, to what would be nearly a toddler now, nearly a 17-month-old. And yeah, nobody wants to go to work. Nobody likes work. But I think coming home to a baby, I think that really helps. I'm going to be honest with you. And I guess that's the part of the baby loss journey. And like you were saying before, that we've all we're all on different journeys and different periods. And for me, this period of essentially just losses just feels really, really rubbish. I don't know what else to describe it. More than
Hellish.
rubbish. Hmm?
Hellish.
Yeah, really, really does. It just makes being motivated to do
Mm.
anything, because I think, I don't know, having a baby and just having a child, if they get you pregnant, agree, it really, really motivates you um, to just keep going, stay alive, even after, baby loss. I think speaking to a lot of other women, one of the things that give them hope and keep them motivated is having another baby. So, how we all know how much we love our babies and how much they keep us going, even when they're not here. So I think it's just really, really difficult staying motivated when you feel like you've literally got like nothing to be motivated for. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah.
I agree because even before I had any children and I'd gotten my first job, not my first job, I had my job in sales recruitment. I was like, I'm going to work so hard so that when I have children, this is what, I would have prepared for them to have like all these things that you start thinking about that my parents
Yeah.
didn't think about. So I started listening to lots of stuff like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, I want to make sure that they're financially stable, financially educated, all this stuff. And then boom, the baby that your workplace saw you grow, you don't even get to bring back to work. So the idea of going back to work for me was also very terrifying. And I wanted to quit my job. Like I decided that I'm going to quit my job. The only reason why I feel I didn't quit at the time when I had just lost Milo's because my manager, he was very open about how he also experienced the loss and he was very like welcoming and looked after me, right? Um, and then I guess also I had the liberty or the privilege, let's say, to work from home. So doing that, I didn't have to see anyone, and it would be very overwhelming to see the same people who saw me carrying this baby, and now this baby doesn't exist, and the same people who definitely won't know what to say and be walking around on eggshells and feel very, oh my God, there she is, the person whose baby died, like that kind of feel. And I completely understand what you're saying in terms of having to go back and, now you've experienced the miscarriage as well. Like that's a double whammy. Like that's just salt on top of the wound. It sucks like hell. And again, going back to this job, because I have a Rinze, it was like, okay, now it's that thing again of like I have to work for my son. But even then, like I'm so over this fucking job. So
Girl, me too, me too.
no,
Not
you haven't even gone
too
back
much.
yet. Imagine. We need to get you out of there. We need to get you the hell out.
No, I think it doesn't help as well, like the environment and going back to like, when I called them to say that Kayode died, like the person on the phone was like, oh, look, you used to come back to work early now, like so does that doesn't help at
No.
all.
What?
Um
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
What?
it was very, very, I mean, it was very, very, very awkward and very sad. I was obviously in a state of shock, like still at Acorn's hospice on the bed with him, his body's still with us. So I was just like, oh, I was like, okay, like
Are
I'm
you
not coming back to work early because of
actually
that. And this thing that's funny because I've been off work for potentially nearly 2 years because I was sick for my pregnancy. During my pregnancy, I had premises. I was off work from like 6, 7 weeks. So I think as well the well, I say the benefit and not the benefit is that a lot of people actually didn't even see me pregnant. Really, like they
Mm.
knew I was pregnant from social media or like other people that I was actually friends with, but they didn't even see me pregnant. All they've had or heard is literally that my baby has died. And especially the setting I work with, like some of my patients said, long term patients, they're there for a long time. So they didn't even see me pregnant either. So I'm just going to rock up back on the ward. And they're just going to be like, where the hell have you been? I was like, oh, spin off. But yeah.
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 It's so
That
crazy.
must be so hard as well, actually, because I was working from home. I can't believe she actually said that.
Yeah. She
That's
was like,
just
yeah, you don't get paid for the last 3 months. I was like, I
as
don't
if
really
that's
care.
what you even care about. Like,
Yeah. Like,
But
no, of
actually,
course I
guys,
don't care.
I think the danger of that though as well is that there are people who will hear that, and because of that thing of like you are in grief and you're in that confused state, you might think the best thing for you to do is to go back to work early, and that's
mm,
the last thing that you should
no,
be doing because people are not making room to allow you to breathe that grief. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
that's
It was
mad.
It was bad because, yeah, you know what? It's exactly what you just said is what did kind of happen, because I ended up trying to go back like the November, so even before his first birthday, like literally, and I was back for a couple of hours. I could not handle it. And again, it was that pressure of them being like, oh, I need to come back. Unfortunately, the place that I work at the time, they weren't supported. Like, if any one of them hears this, like, I'm not lying. All everything I've said is just, it's the truth. I've got all the evidence. So I dare anyone try to be like, oh, what was she saying that for? I'll be like, well, don't let me get the receipts out. So I was just like, oh, maybe I need to try and go back in the pressure, da da da. And then it was awful. Like, yeah, when I tried to go back, they didn't have a plan for me. It was literally 2 9 to 5 shifts and then back on long days. My manager didn't say sorry for your loss till to now. He hasn't said sorry for my loss, but hopefully he'll be no longer my manager when I get back. There was nothing, they wanted, like, there were plans for me to do certain training. So, ILS training, which is quite like, even though it's a mannequin that we use to do like, oh, put tubes down their throat. Yeah, it might be a mannequin, but like he was literally planning for me to do that training like the next few weeks of me returning. And I was just like, I can't do that. I had to witness them like do some really, really horrible things to my basically newborn baby. Like, I'm not doing any kind of training like that for a while. So yeah, there wasn't. So yeah, I just really forced myself to go back, and then, like you said, it really, really just messes up your head when you're not going back to a place where they've been, like you said, your manager was quite, very, very supportive. I mean, don't get me wrong, things happen. Complaints were made. Now I have a plan, but again, I had to go further. I had to go somebody higher up to get that. But if I didn't do that, I would have been just back at work, just like, yep, there you go. Here's 2 shifts and off you go, which is, yeah, insane.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, joys of healthcare.
It's healthcare. Imagine that. Deep it. Health.
Mental health. Mental health.
Oh my God, they don't care about your mental health at all.
Oh
They
no,
need
they don't.
training. They
Absolutely
need so
not.
much training themselves. Like, what's going on?
That's
Honestly.
mad. Well, yeah, mine was a bit different because I mean I was working from home throughout, but like I remember the thought of going back. It was mainly for like other people's reactions. I work with like all blokes, so they're like literally the worst people to be. I don't know, like like it's just so awkward. Like if I started crying at my desk or whatever, have like a breakdown, they're like literally like.
Oh no.
Don't look. She's walking past and she's crying. Just don't look at her in the eye. It's like literally. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, there was a few guys that would literally just give me a hug. And I'm just like, just grow up. You know what? Do you know what I mean? You're like grown men. I'm crying. I don't know if it's because I'm a woman and I'm crying or what. Like I've worked there for like, I don't even know, like 10 years. And I'm like, just give the girl a hug. That's all I want. It's just like,
Oh
even like now, they're
no.
just like, oh, it just does my head in. And like the other day, I was having a shit day, and normally, like you said about how you have like two answers, like how you're really feeling, and depending on who it is, normally I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm all right, like same old. But today I was like, no, do you know, this day I was like, no, do you know what? I'm really in a shit mood, like this. And the guy turned around and was like, oh, I thought you was happy now.
Oh,
Like,
God, good
Oh
night.
God.
just because I have, quote, whatever, living child, rainbow baby, whatever, does not mean like I'm happy all the time. Like, I'm still grieving my son do you know what I mean? It's just, oh, men.
Yeah, it's that thing
Sorry.
like two things can be true at once. Like, we're not just this one slate of, having to be happy all the time. That doesn't
And
even,
do you know what? It irritates me so much, like the positive platitudes and the like toxic positivity. Oh, it just drives me mad.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Going on a
Same.
tangent now. Sorry, girls.
No, it's just. I mean, I agree. I agree with that because I think as well. Again, That's even gives you a bit of a, you get a bit like delusional, I think, as well, because I thought, for some strange reason, that I thought because I've been through this loss, this awful loss that has ruined my life, when I get pregnant again, surely it's just going to be straightforward. Like it's surely I've tapped out on like all the heartbreak, like I'm done for it. And like I think as well, like that whole being because people like I know everybody does it, they come from a good place and they want you to be positive and all that. But then again, it's like then you're like, oh yeah, I have to be positive. I think everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna get pregnant again, and everything's gonna be fine. And then it's not. So some people, it's not fine. It's now even worse.
And it pisses me off that people don't make room for that. Like it gets on my nerves, bruv. Like
Yeah,
I can't even stress enough because it's like, stop. It's false hope at the end of the day. Like allow
yeah,
people to feel how they feel in each moment because you just don't know whether it's gonna go right or left. You don't know. You can't be like, oh yeah, if I was positive my first pregnancy, look what happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yep,
Like,
same.
it's not
Hmm.
any amount of positivity at the end of the day that you could do, really and truly. Like, yes, maybe positivity might have like a percentage of, how well you feel throughout your pregnancy, but it's not going to change the outcome if unfortunately something is missed,
yeah,
stuff like that. Like, how is that going to
yeah.
make a difference? I was
Because then
positive.
it makes you feel bad
Yeah,
when
like it's
things do
your
happen.
fault.
Like like I've already blamed myself so much for Kaede's death and all the things surrounding it. And then when I had the miscarriage, I was devastated because I genuinely was like, oh my God, I remember saying like because I have counseling and therapy because I have EMDR. And I remember saying to both of them, I have them Monday and Tuesday. I was like, I feel like I've like caused this, like, because I was just being negative and I was like still like crying all the time. I was just like, oh, like this isn't, I'm scared, da, 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 da. And I feel like because I was so negative that I caused it essentially because I don't know, I just thought the baby was like, oh no, screw this, I don't want to be here. Like she's too sad. And I know, obviously, I know the logic of my brain knows that's not how it works, but I still can't help but still think that, oh, maybe I wasn't positive enough and I should have just been more like, yay, like life is going to be
Yeah,
great.
but
But
it doesn't work, does it, like that?
no, it doesn't, does it? Like, I remember literally, like, when I found out I was pregnant and like I literally like my partner got home. I told him, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant." Like it was so cold, and like I laugh about it now because I'm just like, "Oh God, I was so cold." And like, I was like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant," and I just showed him the stick, and he was just like, "Oh, yeah, okay." And I literally like chucked it in the bin, stormed off. Like generally, that was my reaction because
Yeah,
I
but
was just
that's
I don't
you
know
trying
why I
to
reacted
protect
like that.
yourself, isn't it? It's like that's you trying to protect yourself. Like we had an episode the other day, like talking about pregnancy after loss, and it's like you do anything you can to protect yourself, and I am like negative all the time about everything now since Eli died. I can't help it, but it's just trying to protect my heart from hurting again and breaking again. Like it's just what we got to do to protect ourselves, isn't it? And
Yeah, I
and it
know.
does. And when people are like talking about being positive, and it's right what you're saying. It's like you then feel bad for not being positive, but then the only reason they're giving you all this positivity and oh, you got to keep hoping. And I think it's just to make them feel better, to get them out of that awkward conversation they don't want to be having with the girls whose baby died. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't
Yeah,
know what else to say. They don't know what to say, and that's
yeah,
them just trying to get out of it and make themselves feel better. Like they've said words that have magically healed us, and we're going to be having a great day now that they've just told us to keep faith and have positivity. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I don't know. It's just we need
yeah,
someone just to be like, do you know what? It is shit. Like this
yeah,
is shit. You shouldn't have to go through this. Like sorry. Like just not what they come up with. You know.
yeah. Yeah, because it just makes me feel even more like guilty and
Yeah.
rubbish after.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know I did have people being like, like, oh, maybe you weren't ready and you were still
Oh,
really like sad and da 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 da. And then
yeah.
I'm like, no, don't blame me. It's not
But
my.
this is a thing. Like, how many people do you hear who have like done awful things on purpose to their kids? And it's like,
Yeah,
just
or during
because,
the pregnancy.
yeah,
They're
it
Like,
doesn't
literally
matter.
like
Like,
doing
as
crack
soon as you're,
cocaine,
you
yeah, like,
and
remember
the kids.
Chelsea on
oh
my
my God.
Instagram? Yeah, I was so pissed off that my algorithm even showed me that because I was like, this is not what I want, right? Some lady was like doing this, yeah. Her caption was like, "Oh, I can't believe I did this whilst I was pregnant," and she was doing this. And then she was sliding down the floor like that. And I'm thinking, what's she talking about? Then I started reading the comments in the caption, and it was basically like throughout her pregnancy, she was taking shots of heroin or whatever it is that you do up your veins. And her son is here, good and well. Well, I don't know if he's good and well, but he's here, you know?
Yeah, you'd
And
be surprised, honestly.
I'm not saying he should have, died, but it's like we did
No, but we're
do
clearly
that.
more readier than she is, and we're not, you know.
Yeah,
Do you know what else? You know the quote where it's like, "Oh, but they're in a better place now." Like, how do you know that? How do you
yeah,
actually know where they even are right now? Like, there's no place a baby should be rather than at home with its mum. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
oh,
100%. You know, that in a better. I remember actually saying that. Oh, he's in a better place, and I got upset with myself for saying that, but I didn't know what else to say when he'd like just passed. I was just like, yeah, you know, like he's in a better place. Even before he passed, this is really bad. Even before he passed, I was like, you know, at least he'll go to a better place because he was so unwell. And
Yeah.
they were like, well, even if he survives, he's not going to be able to even hold his head up. He won't be able to eat on his own. He'll never talk. He'll never walk. It'd be like, you know, they were like, boom, boom, boom. It'd be all of this. And I was like, at the children's hospital, like, what is like, you know, and it sounds awful. I was like, what is the point of them, of him being alive then? And that sounds awful because obviously we were going to have disabled children that, you know, live not long lives, but they, you know, they have their babies there. So I felt awful saying it. And because I was just like, yeah, he's not in a better place. And I just, yeah. But I feel like it's the thing that you get told to say, like, oh, they're going
yeah,
to a
that's
better
it.
place.
You've
And it's
literally
literally
been
because I,
ingrained that in your brain, haven't you? So
yeah.
you
And when I said it
feel that it's
myself,
the
when he
right
did
thing.
die,
Yeah,
I was like, oh no, oh no, I'd rather him definitely here with me. And I know his quality
yeah.
of life would have been, to be honest, it would have been terrible. And I would have been a full-time carer and it would have been intense. And it would have been 24 hours of basically me never ever sleeping. 100%
But
that would
it'd
have
be
been,
here.
but he'd be here.
Mm.
And yeah, and it's crazy that I'd even got to the point where I was like, oh my, begging for that because I remember like especially as well, I think the field nursing I do, you know, I'm a qualified learning disability nurse. So I work with people with like severe disabilities. Even though I work in mental health at the moment, but yeah, but I've, you know, so during my placement, I worked in children, you know, hospice and baby hospice. So it's funny that I ended up there at Acorns, which is one of the hospitals that I literally wanted to work at when I just finished nursing when I was a student. So you know, full circle. So so I've always been very much like, not to be that horrible, very much like, you know, like quality of your life is a big, big, big thing. And when I was hearing about Kaede's quality of life, I was just like, oh no, like I know the reality. Well, I say I know, I don't have to say it, but I was like, I know the reality of looking after a child full time. Like I've seen it, I've spoken to parents, I've been in that environment. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Even as a qualified nurse, I was like, absolutely not, I can't do this. But like, you know, it was weird. As soon as he passed, I was like, oh my God, I could have done it. I could have done it. I would have been great. I would have just got on with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't meant to be.
It's crazy because those lines we all say them, I think, especially right at the beginning of our loss where we're still trying to make sense of this new reality. You just say anything sometimes. And I remember as well, similarly, I went back to the hospital, I think it was like 2 months after, to get something like a test or whatever. And there was a man in the on the elevator, on the lift, and then he must have said something about how I think I had my maternity notes or whatever. And he was like, oh, my wife just, lost our baby. I think he said had a miscarriage or something. I can't remember. And I was like, oh, yeah, I went through the same thing. God knows everything. That's what I said. And I was like, what the fuck? What am I saying? I don't want to be saying that to someone else's experience. That's almost like just feel like, it's like go off with your problems. Do you know what I mean? That's not what I want to, I don't want to dismiss someone. But this was literally before I had even made sense of this reality. And it took me a long time to get to a place where I'm like, actually, all of this shit that is being said to me and all of this shit that I'm saying back to people, it doesn't make sense. It's not right. And you're not really listening to what's happened. You're not making space for these babies. Something that I saw recently as well that's kind of annoyed me is like, I hate seeing trigger warnings. I can't lie. I just hate seeing them. And it's like, trigger warning speaks of stillbirth. What? No. If you're going to put a trigger warning, cool, yeah, but at least say speaking about baby's name who was stillborn, if that's what you're going to do. Because our babies are not just their death. Like, say their bloody name. They've got a name for a reason, bruv. Say their name. I can't, like, every time I see that, it just gets on my nerves because it's like, okay, cool, this person's speaking about stillbirth, but can you say the name of their baby? Because that matters, and people don't see that. Yeah, anyways, that's me going
I
on.
hate trigger warnings too. It's like, like when people say, like you see all the ones on TikTok and they've, these mums have put like pictures of their babies and stuff. And it's like the comments
Yeah.
like trigger warning,
Oh,
trigger
Yeah,
warning.
I've seen that
And
on
I'm
one of mine. I
like,
was like, get out.
I get on a tangent and I comment, like reply to everyone who's put I'm like, why does she need a trigger warning? That's a beautiful baby. Like, what is wrong with you? People, we're the ones that need trigger warnings at the end of the day. Like,
Everything's
but
a
yeah,
trigger for us, but we're still out here, doing.
honestly, when I mean everything, like I was up at like, I haven't really slept at all, but I was like up at 3, half 3, whatever, and I was like looking for my phone, and then I got a message, an email from what's it called? Is it Peanut? It's like that app that
oh,
you use to like when you're
yes, I
pregnant,
got them,
and then
yeah.
they sent me an update to be like, oh, you should be in
Yeah.
toddler zone, 18 months, da, 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 literally. And I was there, I literally looked at it, opened it up, it was the middle of the night. I was just like crying.
I was getting like letters from Pampers and stuff like that. Like, what?
I literally was like, just why? I was like in bed, literally like, why me?
Oh
Like,
no,
what
like
the hell?
literally, the only thing I've ever put a trigger warning on is when I'm pregnant. Like, that's the only time I'll put a trigger warning on my post. To me, my son's not a trigger, like, he's my son. And I'm not
Yeah,
going to put a trigger warning on him and not my daughter's. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't get that. I really
100%.
don't. But we absolutely need the trigger warnings when we see all of like the pregnancy posts and do you know what I used to get? Like not long after Eli was born. So I had him, I was 41.5 weeks and he was stillborn. And I remember like he died in December. Like literally I must have seen about 5 posts about new babies. And it was all like, congratulations, well done, you done such a good job.
Like,
And I'm like, so what are you saying? Like, I didn't. Like,
yeah.
did I not do a good job? Like, I was just, yeah, things like that just really,
I think,
really offended
you know
me.
what?
And do you know what I'm actually going to say? I'll probably get in trouble for this, but I don't even care anymore. When I was pregnant, I had a friend who was pregnant as well. So I had her and her mum, and they both like obviously put things. And her mum like had her stepson or something was also pregnant, and it was all this, and this. So to protect myself, I started like muting people on Instagram and stuff, and I accidentally clicked unfollow to one of my friends. Then clicked follow because I thought, shit, I wasn't meant to do that, hoping it wouldn't notify her. Anyway, she actually called me out and was like, what, don't you want to be my friend anymore? And I was like, oh, why would you call me out on that? Like, obviously,
That's insane.
literally posting pictures of your newborn baby who literally was born the day after Eli's funeral, I think.
Yeah.
And she like literally questioned me as if to say, like, why are you not my friend anymore? And I didn't, yeah.
That is, I'm shocked.
When it happened, I was like, and she said that, I was like, oh, I'm a really bad friend. I shouldn't have done that. And it's like you then start second questioning yourself, and it's
Mm,
like
that
life.
is, yeah. Oh, I mean,
It's weird.
friend.
Yeah, because like if she saw that you followed her back, surely she could have just seen that, oh, okay, it's a mistake. And obviously this is where she's at the moment. So just
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just not say anything because
Yeah,
what just
Exactly. I mean,
happened?
if that was me, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have just been like,
it's
Just
valid. That's it.
because the
just
thing is, it
leave
could
it.
have just
Yeah.
been like if Eli hadn't died, whatever, it could have just been like an actual like a mistake. You know, like if you go
Yeah,
onto mum's her
exactly.
profile and I just clicked on.
Yeah. I've definitely done that.
That
But
happened.
yeah, that is just that
That
is
Oh,
happened. You see the thing with like the trigger warning when people, for me, the only thing that I get worried about when I see people are pregnant is more about if they are going to be able to keep the baby. That's what I get more
yeah.
like okay, the immediate thing I think of like, all right, I hope you keep the baby, and that's it. And I hate that that's my fault, but it's
yeah,
like, and I
same
I'm
can't
the
here.
see
same.
it
I'm
because I'm
exactly the same
scared that
here.
that's what's going to happen. Like I don't want to see it because I'm scared at some point. Oh, guys, this is what happened. It hasn't happened yet, thankfully, to everyone else, but that is
Yeah.
worry about.
Honestly, I literally, if any trigger warning, it's, and what Chelsea said, it is like a morphed around like pregnancy than anything that is quite triggering for me. And not even necessarily triggering because I'm like sad that I'm not pregnant. I mean, like, obviously, yes, but yes and no in a way. But
Yeah,
it's just like I'm so scared of like them
yeah,
going through like just everything because it's obviously, like I feel like because I know so much about like baby loss now and even like miscarriage as well. I feel like I know I've lost at such different points, from early miscarriage to neonatal loss that I'm just
yeah.
like I'm now like so cautious that it can happen at any point. You literally like
It
so for,
really can.
I get so nervous as much as I'm happy for people. I am like filled with like anxiety and nerves, especially when it's somebody that I know, as a
Mm.
friend or I know closely. I'm literally like, oh my God, I hope they're doing this. I hope they counting the steps. I
Yeah.
hope like
And
And
like
do
what?
you know?
literally I'm like, I hope they know, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
babies
yeah, same.
when they do. I did like, and I don't want to bombard them with this information because now I'm just that
Exactly.
crazy friend, and they're
Yeah,
like,
but as
oh,
well, not only that, it's like them people who are pregnant who have never been affected by it personally. They never think it's going to happen to them, just like I was with Eli. And it's like,
yeah,
are they
I
going to count the
literally,
kicks? And are they going to? Probably
That's the
not.
thing. Like you
yeah,
want to tell them to do that, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you don't want to feel like, oh, you're just, scaring them. But the thing is,
yeah,
I think it's a societal thing where they don't encourage women to do that, right? That's what happens. Like we're not told to do this and do that. When really it should just be common sense to do these things. And women like us who have lost our children shouldn't be the fear to tell them. We
Yes.
should just be told straight right off the bat. Because what's gonna
Like,
happen? If you doing it isn't gonna cause you to lose your baby. Doing it will actually hopefully prevent, right?
yeah.
mm,
So, like, I've been pregnant. This is my third pregnancy, right? I have not been told by any midwife about the Count the Kicks app or nothing, yeah? Eli kicked more and was more active than both of my girls, right? So obviously Dakota, I thought, well, that's it. This one is like the same as Dakota, like the same amount of movements. Eli was more active, and it's like if you Google what's normal kicks, it's like lay on your side for 2 hours and they should count 10 times. If not, drink a fizzy drink. Like, how wrong is that? Like, I shouldn't have to drink a fizzy drink or eat something sweet to get my baby moving. Like, that's not right. And
Yeah.
it's like
2
they're
hours
putting
as
all of
well.
this false information out there. And it's like Eli was kicking way more than 10 times in 2 hours when
Yeah.
I laid on my side, especially if I had a fizzy drink or something sweet. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like when you phone up triage, I phoned up with Dakota because I had reduced movements of her as well. And they're like, oh, just lay on your side, have something sweet and sugary, have like a glass of orange juice and just lay down for an hour. I said, no, I'm already on the way to hospital. Like, you are getting me on that monitor. I do not care. I am not having another dead baby. But
Yeah,
if it wasn't for Eli, like I wouldn't know to activate that, like to advocate that much. Not
Yeah.
advocate. It's
That's
just
yeah,
mad. It is
it's
so
true.
mad.
that's the thing.
It's true. Like,
Oh,
Advocating is not encouraged. And Wunmi, like I know you feel that as well because you were advocating for yourself when it came to Coyote, and still they were like, no, no, no. So like
yeah,
advocating starts from the moment that you're pregnant and it continues. until your children
Literally.
are like 18 plus, you forever, really.
Yeah, it's true. Like I now, I've had a couple of friends that have said to me, they've been like, they've taken their babies to the GP and now are a lot firmer because of what's happened with Kayode. And one of my friends, said she even told the GP, she was like, look, like one of my good friends literally just lost a baby and did it because they were trying to downplay her and make her feel like she was being silly over something else. There wasn't like anything serious, but still, your child is unwell. And, she was saying the GP was even saying, oh, is this your first baby? It wasn't even her first baby. Because that's how much, and it's not until she was like, look, like, I've had one of my really good friends has lost a baby to, sepsis, and she went to the GP. And then it was like, oh, like, more like understanding, like I understand. But people shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy that, that people are, advocating for themselves more and looking out for signs of sepsis. Like I keep saying I need to do like more about it, but it's just always such a really, really tough topic for me because obviously with what I know now, it always then makes me like feel so bad and just like guilty for like not reacting even quicker. But like you said, I tried 4 doctors, so there's only so much, so there's only so much you can do. But yeah, like I don't want people to be scared of me or not want to take my advice. But I'm just like, listen,
Because
please, I'm doing it.
yeah, the advice shouldn't just come from us. And because this happened to us, we are scary. I'm not gonna lie. If I was pregnant with Mila and
We're
someone
contagious.
else, no, but I know I would think like that. I know for a fact. Like even when I was given like when I was pregnant with Mila, my friend gave me a 5 times more and I was like, yeah, I'm not reading this. I'm not a statistic. That's what I said. Imagine. I was terrified. And I believe that if you're listening to this kind of stuff, then it will surely happen. But actually, listening is what helps you avoid or at least stand up on business. But yeah.
Knowledge is power after all.
Absolutely.
100%,
Absolutely.
100%. It's a shame that people get. I say people because we've all probably done it as well, but we all get so wrapped up on like, oh, if we hear about it or know about it or someone's speaking about it around, especially when it comes to pregnancy, it's just we all just get so like paranoid it's going to cause something, and it's like it doesn't work like that. And I think as well, there's a lot of like probably cultural and traditional stuff that plays in as well when people feel about when they're pregnant, staying away from this and that. And it's a shame because it stops people from listening to information, getting the information. But
That's important, and that will save their babies.
Yeah, it's all
yeah,
myths, isn't it? It's just myths and stuff.
but
Um,
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
but yeah.
So, we wanted to chat a little bit about something that all of us has sort of done, and that's running as well. Um, I would love to hear what like running has meant to you. Like for me, I decided to do, okay, so first of all, I'm an asthmatic or ex-asthmatic. Running has always been my arch nemesis. I would never do that in my life, right? However, I really believe in science. And my partner, he went to work to do a removal at someone's house. And sometimes people just like give any things that they don't use. So they gave him a t-shirt. And when I looked at the shirt, I was like, oh, it says Tommy's on there. At the time, I had no clue what Tommy's was, right? And then at the back of it, it said together for every baby. And I was like, what? This sounds very specific to do with baby loss. So I went and Googled it. This was at the start of 2024. That's when I realized what Tommy was in the first place because I only knew about SANS. And then when I Googled it, it said, oh, Tommy's do marathons. And the marathon ended up being on my birthday, the 21st of April last year. So I said, okay, I'm going to sign up right now. It was October, I think, of 2023 when I signed up for it. Never ran in my life. Well, yeah, never ran in my life. And I was like, yes, the marathon is in April. I've got this. I've got 6 months to go. But I went ham. Like I really like I did the couch to 5K and I ran 3 times a week. And it was incredible actually. And every time I ran, it just like for me when I was running, like all these thoughts would come into my head where it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna quit. I can't do this. I can't do this. And then it will get to this point where it's just like very zen, where I couldn't hear anything, I couldn't feel anything. And for some reason, it just felt like I was very connected with Myla in that moment. And I was like, we're running together. And that's why I started loving running, but I haven't run since the 21st of April, 2024. How about you guys?
I feel like I need to give running another go because when did I do my marathon? Half marathon. It went a full one. It was last year, and I downloaded the whole Couch to 5. I don't think I even completed it. I'm not gonna lie. And then I'd done like a few actual like races I signed up for. So I'd done like a 5K one, then I'd done like a 10K, and then it was the marathon, just to like actually get me to run because I just lost interest. I just got so bored. I think, well, I'm pretty sure I've got ADHD, so my brain's like all over the place. But it's meant to help, right? And I was just like doing it, and I was like, oh, I've been running. I've been running for a whole 20 minutes. I think it's time to head back now. I've got so much to do. Honestly, I feel like I just need to give it another go and like not stress about having to get back and like what I've got to do at home.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I don't know. And it really envies me when you're saying all of this because I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. Like, I want to enjoy running. I really want to, but I just get bored.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
Is that
mean,
bad?
no, it's understandable. I've got such a weird love-hate relationship with running. So I've, always ran on and off, mostly lift weights. That's like kind of always been my thing. And then I'd run if I couldn't get to the gym. And then obviously when Kayode died, I did 10K first for Acorns. And I didn't really train, I'm not gonna lie, because I knew I could finish the 10K. And I was so depressed because obviously I was like the first year of his death, and I was just like, I wasn't healthy. I'm not gonna lie, I was not in a good way, but I done it, raised like loads of money, and I was just like, oh, this is good, like doing my bit. And then this year I've got half a marathon to do, and the 1st of April is when I literally was like, come on with me, like sort your life out. I decided to sign up for it because I was so like, I'd basically just given up on life. It was so just had the miscarriage, and there was like a 2 week period where I was like, I'm done. Like, get me off this planet. I'm done. And then I literally just woke up 1st of April, and I was like, okay, let's get up and do something. And I signed up for half the marathon, and I was training. I've been doing well with the training, on and off. I think my mood is just like, my mental health is just shit. I'm not gonna lie, it's just so up and down. And it has been really, really helpful with the running. Like, it does get to a point in running where, like you said, Helena, like we're literally, you're like, you zone out and there's like nothing. I can't even really explain it. It's like silence in your head. And it's so peaceful. And you forget how far you ran. Especially when I do like my long runs, like if I'm running more than like 10K, I usually feel I get this a lot, that feeling of like nothingness. I can't, it's literally like, for like a
I'm
brief
so
moment.
envious right now. I'm so
Honestly,
jealous. I've never had
and
nothing in my brain before. Like, I'm actually upset.
and for somebody like I think I've definitely got undiagnosed ADHD. Like I'm on the waiting list anyway. Like my therapist 100% thinks I've got ADHD and other stuff. And so for me, having this, and it's probably not even that long. I don't know. I don't time it, but having that moment of just like, it's like
Nothing.
silence. It's like,
Quiet.
oh, it's so good for my brain. My brain is like, oh, thank God, thank God. Honestly, because usually my brain's like, obviously, it's like 90% Kaide. Then it's like flashbacks, everything that's happened, trauma, work, blah, blah, your cat, family, like, oh, like, it's literally crazy. So
Yeah.
for that, running is great, but it's incredibly boring as well. Like the last I did 18K the last time I did my long run, and I literally got to 12K, and I had a tear in my eye because I was like, oh, I can't do this. This is rubbish. I don't want to do this no more. Why am I even doing this? It's not going to do anything. Like, my baby's still dead. I literally was saying that to myself. I was like, my baby's still dead. It's not like I'm doing anything, but it is what it is. I've done it. I'm gonna do it, obviously. And even though I haven't gone for a run in like over a week, God, I
Yeah, but
will
it
eventually.
doesn't matter. As long as you do it, it's fine.
You're right. It's true. I need to
I
stop.
mean,
It's because I'm like competitive
yeah.
as well. I've got that. Like I've always been like really into like fitness and activity. So I get a bit like, oh no, I need to get a good time. Like you're meant to be, I'm meant to be like
Do you
this
know
like
what?
fitness person. And
Girl, I didn't even check the time. I was like, fuck this. I
No,
was probably
the
like
day,
6 hours or something.
oh
Like
my
the
God, I
day
would have
of,
had my
do
watch
you know
set and
what?
everything.
my
The
watch died
day,
halfway as well. I was like, seriously? I
the
didn't
That's my
even
day,
worst nightmare.
charge. Oh, that pissed me off.
the day of my half marathon, yeah. Get to the train station. Train's all been cancelled. I'm
Oh,
like, what am I gonna do? Dean, like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So Dean come with me with Dakota. She was only little. We had to get a black cab because obviously we had a buggy, no car seat, right? We had to get a black cab into London so I could get to the marathon. I think I just made it by the skin of my teeth. Like I was the last people to go. And I wish, I mean, obviously I couldn't help what happened on the day, like the trains and stuff. But where I was the last one, like the crowd was like dwindling, you know? And
oh
I was like,
God.
I can't finish last. Don't make me do it. But I think I'd done it like, it was like 3.5 hours. But then I got to the last, I don't know, like the last 2 miles. And I was like, I was really going to push myself. And I just saw all these people going off on stretchers. And I was like, hell no, I'm just going to walk quickly for the end of it.
Let me ask you, Chelsea. So when you did your half marathon then, did you not have a moment where it was like nothingness? Did you not have
No,
that? Really? I
no.
feel like that nothingness comes when you've done a long time. I'm not saying it comes at like 20 minutes. It's after.
Maybe, yeah, maybe I
Once
Yeah.
you
had
hit
it
that
for
wall,
like a
and then you
minute.
get past that wall. Like,
Yeah, that's what I say. I only get that when I do my long runs. Like if I'm doing
yeah,
like 5, 6K just to like warm me up for the week, I'm not gonna lie. At those runs, I'm just thinking about how much I hate life.
yeah.
And
This
like
is
I'm
it.
not gonna lie to
I
you.
think that's my problem. It gives me time to think of how shit life can be
Do you
and
listen
like
to
of
anything?
everything that can go wrong.
Do you
So I'm
listen
like,
to
I
Yeah.
need to get back and distract my brain.
Do you not
Huh?
listen to anything when you're running?
Yeah, I have music on.
Okay.
I feel like I need to try it again. I think maybe I did have a little bit of nothingness when I done that marathon. Maybe a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't. But the whole time in my head, I'm like, I worry that I'm not good because I didn't do no training really, and I worry that I'm not quick enough, and like I'll compare myself to other people, and yeah, I think
Well,
that's, and then I just spend the whole time worrying about not doing good enough, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like everyone's
listen,
different.
I'm so trash anyway that I know I won't win anyone. So I'm just like, fuck this. I'm just gonna do
Yeah.
it. But like, I think one of the things that would always come to my mind is how torturous it felt. And I hate saying this, it almost felt like self-harm in a way. And in my head, it was like this mantra of like, if I'm feeling this pain, it's not as painful as what Mila would have felt as she was dying. Like, just keep going. She felt worse pain. You need to feel this pain. Just like when I had my tattoo, it was painful. It wasn't that painful. And like I was crying the whole way through. And the guy probably thought I was crying because of like the tattoo, but I'm crying because, pierced harder actually, because this isn't even close to what this pain of not having my daughter with me and this pain of like knowing how much she would have felt in those moments.
Yeah. I
So
literally do the same thing as well. Like that is, yeah, it's funny that you said that because I did the same thing. Like I was saying, when I was doing my 18K the other day and I hit the brick wall at like 12K. And yeah, I mean, I did start crying, but like, I was still running there. I was crying and running. And I literally was like thinking, I was just like, come on, woman, like you can do this. Like, think about Kayode, what he went through. He literally like was like nearly a newborn baby, had all these tubes stuck down his throat, bloods, given all these horrible drugs. He was given bloody ketamine, for God's sake. Like, surely, with me, you can suck it up and finish the last 6K. Like I regularly have to do that. And I don't know if that's like a positive way to motivate yourself, but it gets it done. I got it done, but in a way I'm like, yeah, it's true. Like, like I'm like, you definitely would have been in a lot more pain than you. So you can suck it up. You're living. Come on. So yeah. So I guess it's positive, I guess.
Oh, life. Isn't life wonderful?
I know, they're doing such beautiful lives. I love it.
Shit now.
Oh, but yeah, I'll be at
Life.
that half a marathon and
You'll smash it. You will smash it.
When is it you said
yeah,
10th of August?
yeah. So it's soon. I'm not. That's what I think. That's what is like not helping is what that how soon it is. Like I wish I didn't have this dip in mood and motivation now. I'm like, this would have been helpful was after the 10th, but my mind and everything. I can't help it. What the things that triggered me. I know what triggers me was that the fact that somebody had ghosted me because they're pregnant, so they decided they didn't want to be friends with me anymore. So yeah, that's kind of like what triggered me off last week. I'm not gonna lie, and it's ridiculous. It's not even a big thing, but it just triggered other things. Yeah. But it's just so annoying.
Trigger me off. That is a big thing.
No, okay, so I'm not being sensitive then.
No, you're not being sensitive. What an absolute. Not being sensitive. No, that's not okay.
Like I was like, oh, am I overreacting? And when you found out, I was like crying. I was like, am I being a bit much? Like it is what it is. Like whatever.
You question yourself all the time, don't you? Whether you're just overreacting and being too sensitive, and I hate it.
And I was like, I shouldn't even care. It's what it is, what it is. Like she's happy to have a baby, and that's it. She didn't want to be your friend because she was pregnant. And the thought of being around you terrified her that much that she literally was like, I don't want to be your fucking friend. So, yeah.
I think with that, like...
Maybe it is actually trying to protect you in a weird
I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, probably.
No, it's not fair. It's not fair.
I mean, like, in the sense of, like, it's the fact that people don't know how to have that conversation because it's comfortable. Because some people would want you to be away. Some people would want that. Some people who have lost their baby would rather not be too close with someone who's currently pregnant, which is absolutely fine. But some people would still like to have that relationship. And I think it's that the lack of having that conversation and the lack of consideration to have that conversation with a friend. That's the problem, I think, that people don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah.
You were saying, Chelsea, with your friend who, you wanted to mute her because you didn't want to see stuff. Well, for you, it'd be easier to be a little bit distant in that moment. But for some people, like you and me, like it's better to still maintain that friendship. And it's like, why can't people just have that conversation? Like, especially if you're close friends, right? If you're not that close, whatever. But it's like, if we're close friends, like, look, I'm currently pregnant at the moment. I know it might be triggering, or it might not even be triggering for you. Like, what works best in our friendship? Like, because I want to be mindful or respectful. Like, I don't know. I don't have to say the right words because, like, the way I phrased that, it was obviously I was clearly trying to think like how to say that. People won't know the right things to say, and it's better to just speak from the heart. Like, but
yeah,
it's so true because, like, now, like all these years later, like I think I met up with her when Dakota was little, so it's been like a good year and a half, I'd say, and it's just like, what's the point? No, it's not even that. It's like you weren't there for me, and then I kept seeing this thing, and it was like, oh, if you can't be there for me when I'm like depressed and miserable, you don't deserve me when I'm happy and positive.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. But yeah, like I don't know, like I just think, and I just can't be bothered. Like that sounds really bad. But like I had another like proper best friend who I don't speak to anymore. Although that was all very odd, to be fair. Yeah, that was a bit that I think I could do a whole episode just on
I started off something now because I feel like we need to say this in another episode because I feel like I've started something. We talk about like friendships and stuff around.
We should do that.
Yeah, 100%. Because obviously,
I might get in trouble. In fact, I haven't even done anything wrong, so I don't really care.
No, speak
but
your
put
truth.
Put it this way. A little snippet of my life. Got married 6 months after Eli died. Like that was my grief whatever. And she turned up and was like asking people if you could see blood through her dress because she just had an abortion. Yeah, yeah. She doesn't know. She doesn't know I know this. This is what my other friends have told me. That's what she was saying. Yeah.
The whole thing is messy. Why are your friends even telling? Sorry, not nothing against your friends. Oh God, everything is just messy with that now.
Oh my
It's
God.
so
Yeah,
messy.
no, we
Like
need to,
literally,
this
it's like
has to be another, we need to do an episode on this.
You
I'm
do
sorry.
friendships. You do
Friendships and pregnancy, because what the hell? What the hell?
What the
honestly,
hell?
that's not even
What the
half of
hell are
it
y'all
either.
saying?
What? There's
Wow.
more?
There is more. There's always more.
Oh, we've got to do
Okay,
it.
so next episode will be friends.
No, because a part of me still feels guilty. Like, even though I don't talk to her, like, she might listen to this and.
Well,
I
I've
think
got stuff to
everything.
share about Friends, and I'm going to share it because in my head, it's the truth. I'm not lying. I'm not mentioning any names. And, it's the truth. Why did you do it in the first place? Why were you being such a shit friend? Why did you ignore me? And why did you
Yeah.
lie and say you're going to come to my son's funeral and then never contact? I've got, this is, multiple people have done this.
Let's
Next
get
week.
into it, guys. We're getting into it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we should leave it there. I think it was really nice to chat today. Yeah, does anyone have any last things to say?
Well, I think I don't even drink wine. I can't even drink wine, but I think I need a wine after that.
Lol.
Definitely having a wine later on. One of my friends is coming to Manchester, staying with me for the night, which is great because obviously I'm back at work tomorrow and Charlie's actually away for 2 weeks. So
Wait, you're having wine tonight? You're having your friend over tonight?
yeah, she's coming staying over tonight. So I'm gonna, and I thought this is great. So at least like tomorrow when I get up to go to work, I've got somebody there, and then I'll come back to somebody as well. So
And
it's
you
not gonna
can
be
cry about how your day goes, but we hope your day goes well. We hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't drink too much wine either because you don't want to hang
Then
over as
you-
well.
I did think that it was like, I actually did need to make sure I get the perfect balance because I don't want to get up and be hungover. Even though I'm only going in for like 2 or 3 hours tomorrow, I still don't want to be sat at the computer for 3 hours, like doing training like
button. All
Well,
right.
just have a little bit left over and then just take it into work tomorrow.
In a flask.
I don't think that's allowed. Okay, sorry.
This was good though. I feel like this is like kind of like my therapy. I needed this actually. So
Good.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for today. Thank you everyone for listening. And thank you, Kayode, thank you, Eli, and thank you, Mila. So much love for you guys. And yeah, see you next time.